My peoples. My peoples. Good morning. It's 5:37 in the morning in Santiago, Dominican Republic. And we about to talk boxing, y'all. Real early, real dark, you know. So Jake Paul says that he's going to sue anyone who says his fights are staged. Now, Piers Morgan made a statement along those lines that his fights are staged. Jake Paul threatened with a lawsuit. Piers Morgan withdrew his statement, whatever that means. Are Jake Paul fights staged? Well, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about the possibility of a lawsuit for making such claims. Ay. Crazy stuff, my peoples. Crazy stuff. Which, by the way, we're talking about Jake Paul and the fights being staged and all that stuff, or those claims. Well, it looks like there's a possibility him and AJ may fight. Him and Anthony Joshua. Do you think AJ will lend himself for a circus show and something that's staged? Or is AJ going to show up trying to knock him out? So, it's interesting to see how this whole situation is going to develop. Very, very interesting to see how it's going to develop. Take 24 hours veggie salad. Come through with another account. Or use that one to keep watching. The veggie salad in the building, nice and early. Yeah, man. Oh, the veggie salad is angry. What is going on? This is anger. Maga Pepe from Indonesia. Salute. Indonesia's in the building. Appreciate you dropping in. You know, we're talking about the whole situation with Jake Paul, where he doesn't want nobody to say that his fights are staged, or he's gonna sue you. So, I'm not gonna say that his fights are staged. I don't think he could sue me. It's not like I'm rich. I'll just say that they're cherry-picked. You know, Jake Paul has cherry-picked his whole career. And that's what I would say to Piers Morgan. Do not say that they staged, because we actually don't know that that's the case. Jonathan Prats, shout out from Brazil. Salute, my brother. Bam. Appreciate you dropping in, man. And if you guys have any thoughts on it, I know that Jake Paul is someone who's a polarizing figure in boxing. Some people like him, some people hate him, and whatever the case may be. But what's going to happen? Is he going to fight AJ next? To be honest, a lot of people are going to tune in simply because they want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. We already saw him lose to Tommy Fury. It's like, damn, you lost to Tommy Fury, you think you could beat AJ? But I don't know, my peoples. I don't know. I just know that Jake Paul is in a situation right now where he could make a lot of money. He could fight a lot of names. He made it happen for himself. Made it happen. Whoa, we got the vegetable salad in the building, my peoples. The vegetable salad with another fake account. No vegetable salad. Vegetable salad. It's making stuff up, the vegetable salad. Don't do it to yourself, vegetable salad. My peoples, sending fake warnings. Warnings are not sent via the chat, vegetable salad. They're sent via email. So take a 24-hour break with that fake account, vegetable salad. Jonathan Prats, after the fight against Professor, he's still a relevant boxer. Listen, man. Right now, I would say Jake Paul, he's, in a way, we got to accept that he's a boxer. We have to accept it, right? He's not an elite level boxer, but when people say that he isn't a boxer or that he's a fake boxer, that's wrong. That's being on denial, because we also have to understand one thing. Jake Paul been training for 6 years already. 6 years. And he's not just doing any training. With the money and resources, he's training with professional trainers, professional coaches, sparring with professional fighters. Any of you guys, if you train for 6 years with the same resources as Jake Paul, you will be good boxers. You will be able to box too. But he's not an elite level boxer. And he's never going to be. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. The veggie salad is angry. The veggie salad is angry. Put that fake account on timeout, veggie salad. We already know that you're crippled and upset at home. That's what karma gave you for abusing your students. Jonathan Prats, true. Not one with no training can do that. You just can't. Look, think about this for a second, and I try to say this to people. When you see fighters who turn professional, let's say in their late 20s or even in their 30s, and they have success, when you check them out, it turns out that they was real athletic guys. In some cases, they played other sports. And because of that, when they transition into boxing, they had success. If you look at Bernard Hopkins, if you look at Antonio Tarver, if you look at other guys who were able to become champions after turning pro late, they were athletic dudes. Now take a look at Jake Paul before he turned to boxing. This dude had the type of body that you could tell he never stepped in the gym in his life. Jake Paul never punched the face in his life, never been punched in the face in his life. So he basically, when he decided, I want to box, he transformed his body. That's it. He transformed his body and he became a boxer. So he knows how to box, but you could never bridge that skill gap that you see between him and fighters who grew up fighting, who were fighting since they was little kids. He'll never be able to bridge that gap because he was never an athlete. He was never athletic. Simple as that. So Jake Paul, yes, he knows how to box. He could beat an average Joe, a part-timer. There's a lot of people in boxing. Most people in boxing. People don't realize that. Most people in boxing have a job, have a real job, and then they box, get fights when they can, and make some money. Those guys, most of them, Jake Paul's going to beat them because he's 100% dedicated to boxing. But fighting Anthony Joshua, that's a problem. That's a problem. JJ says it has get the fuck out of here. Now, I just give him a timeout because, he crippled at home. And when you're a rag, though, what else you got to do? So I don't want to block him. I want him to be able to tune in. So all I'm saying is that with a 24-hour timeout, this goofball right here can still tune in, and I don't have to block him out of here. But Is Jake Paul really gonna sue everybody who says that his fights are staged? Is he really going to? And I'm gonna tell you guys what. I don't got no money, but I'm not gonna say that his fights are staged. But the reason I'm not gonna say Jake Paul fights are staged is because I don't have proof of that. I can't prove that. JJ said that's 2:46 in the morning. John Parham, damn, before 6 a.m. Facts, my brother. This is not a episode of Boxing for Breakfast. This is just me tuning in with y'all and talking about the whole situation with Jake Paul. He talking about he's gonna sue anybody who says his fights are staged. Is there anybody in here right now who believe Jake Paul fights are staged? Keep it 100, my peoples. Keep it 100. Happy birthday, AT. Is there anybody who believe that Jake Paul fights are staged? Crap. Salute to you, my beloved brother. Salute, Crap. Bam. Because I'm going to tell you, my peoples, it's hard to say, for me personally, right? It's hard for me to say something without having any evidence. I don't like to make claims. On Lace, salute, my G. Boom, appreciate you dropping in. So I'm not willing to put myself out there and say that Jake Paul fights are staged. Hell no. And not because of the whole supposedly he threatening with a lawsuit. No. I'm saying that because me, myself, when I say something, it's because I really feel like I could stand on it. Me telling you that Jake Paul fights are staged would simply be an assumption. And I know fans love to assume. I don't when it comes to stuff like that. So if I get any information that shows me that those fights are staged, trust me, you're gonna see me here saying it. You're gonna see me like, yo. But I don't know, man. Now Jake Paul did say or threaten to sue Piers Morgan for saying that his fights are staged. Is he really going to? And by the way, Piers Morgan withdrew his statement, whatever that's supposed to mean. You already said it. What you mean you're withdrawing it now? That's crazy. Crap. They said Jake Paul and Tyson was staged. Nah, I definitely don't believe that fight was staged. To me, that fight, it was real. The only thing is that at the end, Jake Paul could have finished him. Look, I'm going to tell you why they say that fight was staged. I'm going to tell you the truth about it. Before the fight, I try to tell everybody, Jake Paul is going to put the beats on Mike Tyson. He's going to beat him up. And a lot of people was all over social media. Mike Tyson is going to kill him. Mike Tyson is a killer. He's going to beat him up. So, when they saw Mike Tyson get his ass whooped, they couldn't believe that was real. They couldn't accept that they was wrong. So they started floating around the stuff about the fight being staged. In reality, a nearly 60-year-old Mike Tyson gets beat up 10 out of 10 times versus Jake Paul. You're 58 years old. You're fighting a kid that's, what, 27, 28? In the prime of his physical peak? Come on. Stop. I already knew that's exactly what was going to happen. So only the people who thought Mike Tyson was going to win are saying that that fight was staged. They just couldn't accept it. Couldn't accept the reality of that beatdown. So, as of right now, me personally, I'm not willing to say that the fight is staged. JJ's in the house. John, this is snack before breakfast. I'm not willing to say that the fights are staged. There's things that have looked suspect. The Tyron Woodley knockout. There was like a little movement there that seemed like, like it could have been off. My peoples, the veggie salad need another 24-hour break on another fake account. Canelo robbed Triple G. Well, don't worry. Crawford is going to take care of him. Crawford got this. John Parham, Jake, keep it boxing. That's what I'm talking about. We talking boxing. We talking boxing or taking breaks. You know, there's certain rules. You talk boxing, you stick with the subject that we talking about here. Join that crowded ass break room with the veggie salad. JJ's in the house. Get him the fuck out of here. They out of here, my peoples. So, what about if Jake Paul fights AJ next? What happens in that fight? What happens in that fight? Y'all tell me, my peoples. We're not talking about Triple G, family. Come back in 30 minutes and talk about an active fighter. He retired right now. John Parham. I've never told you that the vegetable salad, Noel Beato, the rapist, he's also a racist. He's also a racist. But I digress. Unlaced. John, I'm getting ready to go to the gym. About to put 2 hours on the treadmill. Ooh. 2 hours, you going in, bro. Yeah. Croc. Who wins between Floyd and Roy Jones in an unstaged fight? I'm going to be honest. If that fight happens right now, Floyd got him. Just because Floyd's physical is in better condition than Roy's. Royce is in good shape, but his weight and size, his movement is going to be a lot more limited than Floyd's. I think right now Floyd outboxes him. But both in their prime, Roy Jones kills him. But they would be in different weight classes, so it couldn't happen. Can never happen. JJ's in the house, JSmiff. What is your eye color? These guys are fucking funny. Boxing little, yo. I'm trying to tell you, bro. The kind of stuff that you see here is like, what is going on, bro? Y'all tell me. Can Jake Paul beat AJ in a unstaged fight? No, I'm not saying Jake Paul stages his fights. But if he fights AJ and it's not staged, does he have a chance? John Parham says, hell no. Hell to the no, to the no. Damn, bro. Is anybody gonna... I think there's somebody out there, there's people out there who give Jake Paul a shot. AJ in 5 at the latest. 5 rounds is over? Is it a referee stoppage? Or Jake Paul is going to be counting sheep? I don't know, man. It looks like they really trying to make that fight happen. It looks like they really trying to make that fight happen. Ooh. JJ's in the house. F no, not a chance. John Parham, KO. JJ, you got him sleeping too? Or ref stoppage? Or decision? Oh, another KO. Sleep. I'm going to have to agree with y'all, man. I'm going to have to agree with y'all. I see Jake Paul going to sleep under the influence of a straight right hand that lands flush right in the melon. That's how I see it. That long straight right hand. Boom! Devastating blow. Unlaced. Depends. AJ coming off a devastating knockout loss. Yeah, bro, but the skill gap between AJ and Jake Paul is too much. It doesn't matter where he coming from. He knocking him out brutally. If the fight happens, of course. Because you know how it is in boxing, my peoples. We could talk and they could go back and forth, and until contracts are not signed, we just never know. But I can tell you guys, man, I hope it happens. I really do. I'm sure I'm not the only person who wants to see Jake Paul fight another boxer. And then to me, it doesn't even have to be AJ. I want to see Jake Paul. Look, what my favorite fight for Jake Paul would be a fighter who's around his age and has a record similar to his. That's who I want to see him fight, so I could really gauge his skills. It's hard to see how good somebody is when he's fighting guys that's in their 50s, guys that do a different sport, guys that are a lot smaller. It's hard for you to really see. It's hard for you to gauge it, how good he is. He actually is. Croc, I never see you drinking coffee. I don't drink coffee, my brother. I used to, but it's a long time I don't drink coffee. John Parham, if AJ loses, he should invite Savvy over for coffee. We all know JSmiff woke up early and was bored as shit. That's what we hear. Nah, we here because we love the sport of boxing. I bet you if I was talking about ice hockey, we wouldn't be here. Bet you if I was talking about ice hockey, everybody else would have just went right back to sleep. But we talking boxing. That's why. And y'all just love the sweet science. On Lace, it's been 10 years the last time I had coffee and soda. Now, I drink a little soda here and there. You know, I drink a little soda. But coffee has been a very long time. And I'm not going to say it's been 10 years. Because I've had a little sip of coffee here and there. But rarely. Like, for example, I could tell you that right now, this very moment, in 2025, I haven't had a sip of coffee. In 2025. Not one sip of coffee, my peoples. Check this out. I got the sex predator Noel Beato on the phone right now so he could tune into the show and listen in. We know that that's the dude that, you know, raped his students when he was a teacher in New York City. We got him live on the phone, my peoples. Tuning in from his vegetative state. But again, you know, I have a little soda here and there. Once in a blue. Coffee? Nah. In 2025, I haven't had a sip of coffee. Dallas Pio, thank you for timing me out yesterday. I'm careful and learn my lesson. The sex predator hung up. The sex predator listened to the show for 1 minute. Noel Beato, sex predator, crippled at home watching this show. Hung up. Didn't want to listen anymore. John Parham, Dallas, we give everyone a second chance. No doubt. No doubt. On Lace, John, or Red Bull or any drink. Breakfast was a Red Bull and cigarettes. Oh my goodness. And listen, Red Bull, I remember when it first came out. I was a kid when it first came out. And I tried it. And right away, I felt jittery because I wasn't used to them energy drink. I felt like, oh, shit. And I didn't mess with it again. I was like, nah, man, there's something not right about this. And I used to skateboard and rollerblade, skateboard when I was a kid. And then Monster Energy came out. And I don't know if you guys know this, but a bunch of kids died from heart attacks from drinking that shit. You'll be at the skate park and they be giving these big ass cans to 13-year-olds. Hey, have a Monster Energy. You 13 drinking 3-4 of those. They was trying to kill little kids. JJ's in the house. Eggshells, welcome. Hit the like button. Everyone, let's go. Oh, no doubt, my peoples. Yo, listen. Let's stop ducking that like button the same way that we ducking. That Tank Davis is ducking Shakur. We gotta do it. We gotta do it, my peoples. Come on now. Hold on. Yo, bro, what happened, Veggie Salad? I was trying to get you so you could listen to the show live. That way you could watch live and listen live. You know, if you're a crippled rag doll, that's what karma gave you for raping your kids. Yo, at least watch and listen live. You know, get some entertainment in your rag doll life. Ah, Dallas Pio, first time out on YouTube. It's a different vibe up in here. Haha. Well, what happened is that, this channel, we try to have a little bit of exclusivity, and then, trolls come in talking about other crazy stuff and trying to change the subject and trying to play tough. So we just put them on timeout, come back later, maybe come back with a different energy and whatnot. John Parham, I never drank Red Bull because at 300 wings, not going to help me fly. I tell you what, man, that Red Bull is crazy the way that they was marketing it to kids and selling it to, 13, 14 years old drinking that shit. And that Monster Energy, that's it. They was just trying to overdose kids. JJ in the house, tank ducking this early. Let's go. You know what's something interesting, my peoples? That it's almost looking like Tank Davis is gonna duck Lamont Roach. We saw that first fight. We saw the way the first fight played out. We saw the controversy. We saw how, the knee and all that other stuff. Come on, man. Come on, my peoples. We have to understand. Take a little 24-hour break, family. On Lace, hearing that voice note is killing Savi softly. You imagine you sitting like this, literally a rag doll reading that shit like this. Yo, that one voice note pushed Javi to create 15 fake accounts back to back right now, this very moment. John Parham, crazy how many energy drinks you see in the stores. And they're kind of supposedly not marketing it to kids. Or maybe they're not straightforward marketing it to kids. But there's really, unless I'm missing something, there's really no restriction. Like a third, or that was the case when I was there, a 13-year-old can buy a Monster Energy drink like this big that got as much caffeine as 50 cups of coffee. Help me figure that out. How is a 13-year-old kid fit to drink something that has the amount of coffee that will have 10 adults not able to sleep for a month in one can? Come on now. So is it really unanimous? We all got Jake Paul getting knocked out by AJ. We don't have anybody in here that's gonna step out on a limb for Jake and be like, nah, he's gonna pull off the upset. He's gonna do what's never been done. And I'm gonna tell you guys something interesting about Jake Paul that I saw, and it pissed a lot of people off, but I actually liked it. And people, you have to think about the perspective from his eyes. He made a post saying, thank God that he made me the greatest boxer of all time. And people went crazy with that post. You can't fight. Blah, blah, blah. Crazy. But you think about it. Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury. Does he really believe that he's the greatest boxer of all time? Or is he trolling to get a reaction? He's obviously trolling to get that reaction. So it shows you how Jake Paul has been able to gain that popularity. Being the villain, being the bad guy, getting the hate, he loves it. He says, I'm the greatest fighter of all time because he knows it's going to piss people off and they're going to react. If you go to the post where he says that, and then there's gonna be the trolls who are gonna be like, he's right. He's telling the truth. He's the greatest. It's absolute genius what he's doing. He's trolling and people are buying into it. Brad Lange, AJ gonna smoke Jake unless he wants to put on a show. I don't know, man. I think AJ, he's gonna look at it like, yo, I can't allow this guy to disrespect me. I can't allow this guy. I gotta knock this guy out. John Parham, Olays, okay, you sit on your girl's lap to save money. Croc, honestly, my brother, if your life depends on it, who wins? Tank or Roach rematch? Tank knocks him out, for sure. You gotta understand, Croc, right now it's looking like Tank may duck that fight. Looking like Tank may duck that fight. So if my life depends on it, I might say Tank is gonna duck that fight. Now, Croc, let me ask you a question. If Tank decides not to fight that rematch, you still think he would have knocked him out, even if he ducked? Check out the difference in confidence level. You got him knocking out Roach, and he don't even want to fight him. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my G. Come on now. Jump out, Roach. Roach said last night, Tank not trying to see him. JJ's in the house. AJ will win by KO over Jake Paul on Lace. Nasty work. So go ahead, Croc. If Tank don't give him the rematch, did he duck? Put me on. Y'all tell me, my people. Or are we going to give Tank Davis the excuse? Like, why it was okay to duck? Okay, y'all tell me, my peoples. JJ's in the house. Sit at the front for free. Sit at the front for free. I want to understand what's going on. I'm trying to figure it out. Where's the people who have an opinion on that? So, and I'm going to be, listen, my peoples, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to be applying some pressure to some people. Why? Because I want to know what they're going to say if Tank Davis chooses not to rematch Lamont Roach. I'm going to have to apply that pressure. You calling everybody else a duck? Well, we watched him get his ass whooped in the first fight. Got gifted a draw. If he don't fight the rematch, are you going to acknowledge that he ducked? Are you going to acknowledge that Lamont Roach was a cherry pick gone wrong? A 130-pounder who now Tank Davis is ducking? Come on now. Damn, people angry. People angry. The vegetable salad is angry. I don't know what happened. But, again, ladies and gentlemen, people love to point out when fighters duck, when fighters didn't fight this guy, didn't fight that guy, right? Well, Tank Davis is expected to fight a rematch with Lamont Roach. Come on now. Come on now, my peoples. He is expected to fight a rematch with Lamont Roach. First, they had a date. Then the date was pushed forward. And now, supposedly, Tank don't want to fight Lamont Roach. What are we going to say about that? What are we going to say? John Parham. Bow Wow was crazy reach on Lace. Savi's back and got his ass sniped. Pew! I'm telling you, man, the sex predator's trying real hard, but it's just not working. He's just getting more and more frustrated sitting there being a crippled. Y'all tell me, my peoples, in your personal opinion, will folks acknowledge that Tank Davis duck Lamont Roach if he doesn't fight the rematch? We already got Lamont saying that he wants it. We already know Tank Davis was gifted that draw in the first fight. We know what happened. We know about the knee. We know about the no point deduction. We know about Tank Davis turning around, going to his corner while the clock was ticking and getting his face wiped. We know all that stuff. Okay. No rematch now? Whoa. Is this a duck? Are we going to say that's not a duck? I'm looking to see because I see fans always point out, oh, this person duck. Oh, that person duck. Oh, this person is... Well, is Tank Davis ducking Lamont Roach? Y'all tell me. I just want to know. Croc, come on home, team. You know darn well that you have to convincingly beat the champ. All right then, Croc. So it was a draw. Cool story. If you accept the draw, I accept the draw. Cool story. But what if the champ don't want to rematch you? What you call that? If it was a draw and there was a rematch and they were going to fight a rematch and the rematch was scheduled, what do you call it when Tank say he don't want to fight the rematch? What type of excuse you can come up with? We talking boxing 713. We not talking about that. If you want to talk boxing, take a little 30-minute break when you come back. We could do that. So, what's going to be the logic if Tank Davis chooses not to rematch the 130-pounder who he brought up to fight him? What are we going to say about that? And you know what? I'm gonna post that question in one of the biggest Tank Davis groups that I know. Croc, stalling for a bigger payday. Oh wow, that's the excuse? Stalling for a bigger payday? Wow, Croc, that's why I tell you, when you're biased, you're always gonna come up with some crazy logic. Stalling for a bigger payday. Whoa. That's like a new one now. That's a new one that you came up with. A fighter's gonna stay inactive, stall for a bigger payday. But I'm telling you already that he's not gonna fight Lamont Roach. He's gonna fight somebody else. So if he's gonna fight somebody else, he's not ducking. He's stalling for a bigger payday. Where exactly did you come up with that conclusion, Croc? Besides out of thin air. How do you come up with that? I would love to hear how you came up with that crap. No, but how can you come up with that? Just kind of made it up? Molas, you want to tell us about the best fight ever, but we're not talking about best fights ever. Take a little 30-minute break and come back talking about what we talking over here. Croc, Floyd stole the Pac-Man fight. I don't know what you're talking about, Croc. John Parham on Lace. I saw that afterwards. So what you're suggesting, Croc, is that Tank Davis should wait till they both washed up so we could complain the same way we did about Pac-Man and Floyd? That's what you're saying? Wow. That mentality ruins the sport of boxing? That's what you co-sign? Oh, no, he's stalling it. Wow. You will ruin the sport of boxing, babe. Cooking with CER Senior. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, family. Bam. So again, my peoples, Tank Davis. And you know, Croc, what makes it a horrible comparison, what you said? You compare the fight that Floyd stalled to a fight that Tank Davis already did. Tank Davis already fought Lamont Roach. This is a rematch. This is a rematch. Again, when you're biased and you want to defend, you come up with bad logic because you're trying to figure out the right angle for you to defend, as opposed to just calling it what it is, a duck. Instead of, look, it's so much easy to say, yeah, he ducked Lamont Roach. That's easy. But nah, you start putting together these crazy numbers and mathematics and science behind it to try to back up your claim, your defense. JJ's in their house. Boxing politics. Politics as usual. They saw Tank Davis get his ass whooped, and they was like, nah, though, let's not do this rematch. We don't need this rematch. We don't need it. That's it. That's it. It's as simple as that. Sadah Hamed. Tank has Roach problem until he taken care of that he needs to chill. Listen, right now it's not looking like Tank Davis is going to give Lamont Roach the rematch. And if he doesn't, he duck. That's it. There's no getting around it. The whole logic of, oh, well, he didn't duck. He's just waiting it out. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's what I tell you. If you want to defend the fighter so bad, you're going to end up coming up with crazy logic behind it. Because you don't want to just tell the truth. He ducking. You don't want that smoke. Cooking with CER Senior. Facts. If you keep the same energy, you don't have to come up with new excuses. That's the point. If you always keep the same energy, then you could be consistent and accept whatever result happened. But if you always looking for a different angle to defend your fighter, you look like a fool. Because everybody else, you call him a duck. But when it's your fighter, oh, now he's really waiting. He's not ducking. He's really waiting. So you always have to keep a different energy for Tank Davis than you keep for everybody else. You see, that's real common, right? Like when they ask, oh, Canelo needs to go fight Benavidez. Crawford needs to fight Boots. And how about Tank Davis? Who you want him to fight? Well, you know, Tank Davis, he fight whoever he want. You know, you don't really need to bring him up. That's different right there. He put butts in seats. You rarely hear a Tank Davis fan say Tank Davis needs to fight this person, one of the best out there. You don't see them say that. You'll never see a post from Croc saying, yo, Tank Davis needs to go fight Shakur, or Tank Davis needs to go fight Teofimo Lopez. Nah, he's too busy defending Tank Davis and attacking other fighters and saying that other fighters are not that good and other fighters' resumes are not that good. While Tank Davis, who ain't fight a single reigning champion in the 135 division, kicking, scratched to the death for him. Tank Davis got loyal fans. I respect you, Croc. You're going to make an argument on his behalf. But he ducking and everybody else knows it besides you and his fans. On Lace, the truth is Tank don't care if you call him a duck. I mean, it doesn't matter if I call him a duck or don't. He's a duck. If he don't fight Lamont Roach, he's a duck. It doesn't matter. When you call other fighters a duck, they don't care if you call them a duck either. How is that even relevant? Think about it. When you say other guys duck, they don't care about that. They don't see the post. They're not looking at us arguing in the comment section of a damn Facebook post. Jay Jones, Tank can beat him. He wants an easy win. Okay, Tank can beat him. He wants an easy win. So what are you saying? That because of that is not a duck, you're finding an excuse as to why it's not a duck, Jay Jones? Is that what we doing here? That's what we doing? The guy that gave you the toughest fight of your life, that had a rematch schedule with you, you pull out, and that's your explanation? That he can beat him? Damn, Jay Jones. Let's slow down a little bit on the bias. Because I got Lamont Roach whooping that ass in the rematch again. So that's your opinion, my guy. He can beat him. That's your opinion. And you feel like he can beat him, but Tank don't feel like he can beat him. And the crazy thing is, Jay Jones, is like I said, when you bias, you come up with crazy logic. Because you say he can beat him, but what tells you he can beat him? They fought to a draw, and then you says, he wants an easy fight. How do you know what Tank Davis wants? Just to defend your logic, you make shit up out of thin air. None of us can argue about what Tank Davis wants, bro. How we can argue that? How do you know what Tank Davis wants? From watching him on social media and following videos and watching YouTube videos, you know what Tank Davis wants. That's crazy. None of us know what Tank Davis wants. None of us. Come on. On Lace, John, is the Tankomaniacs that failed to understand that. I mean, to be honest, it is the Tankomaniacs because they're the ones, I think they're the only fan base who make up crazy logic to defend Tank Davis. They'll call everybody a duck, but when Tank Davis does it, they find an argument to make about it. They say no because with Tank Davis, they make up a whole brand new logic to defend Tank Davis. Wait a minute. You call this guy a duck for not fighting the best? You call that guy a duck for not fighting the best? Tank Davis, 30 years old, and you got the balls to say that he just waiting it out? Still not fighting any of them? That's crazy work. That's crazy work. JJ's in the house. Take care, John. And on Lace, have a good Sunday. You too, my G. Bam! John Parham, I think Roach can get Shakur as well. JJ, you out? JJ, take care, JSmiff. God bless you and the Box Center family. Get more likes for JSmiff, everyone. Appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. You know what it is. Bam. Enjoy your Sunday. So I just think, it's the way that people are on denial and delusional and biased is crazy. It's crazy. Come on now. To make up a whole new angle and a whole new point of view just to defend this fighter when you attack everybody else hard who does the same thing. But this time, no. That's different. That is different. Come on now. Come on now. Croc, we have to ask that question after we find out. Right now, Lamont Roach got a set rematch with Tank Davis. So let's wait to see if Tank Davis is going to duck. So before you move to Roach's next move, you need to acknowledge that Tank Davis has to duck Lamont Roach for Roach to have a different option. You like to rewind the story and you like to fast forward the story, but you don't like to tell it right where it's at. Right now, it's at Tank Davis ducking Lamont Roach. Don't fast forward it. This is where we are right now. This is where we are right now. Tank Davis has a rematch set with the fighter that gave him the toughest fight of his career. He has a rematch set with a fighter who should have won on the scorecards but was robbed of a point. He has a rematch set with a fighter who landed more punches on him than he landed on that fighter. He has a rematch set with a fighter who a lot of people felt beat him. And he chooses not to do the rematch? But that's not a duck, according to Tank Davis fans. Very interesting. Very interesting. Huh. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Unlaced. It's only different because it's their favorite fighter. That's the thing. But it's not because it's their favorite fighter. It's that Tankomaniacs just think different, bro. They just think different. You know why? Because Terrence Crawford is my favorite fighter. And I wanted him to fight Errol Spence. I want him to fight Canelo. Shakur Stevenson is my favorite fighter. I want him to fight Teofimo Lopez. I want him to fight Tank Davis. I want him to fight Devin Haney. So why is it that Tank Davis fans, they don't want him to fight the best? I want my favorite fighters to fight the best. Tank Davis fans, they like, nah, he put butts in seats though. And he sell a lot of pay-per-views. That doesn't entertain me. I enjoy what goes down inside the ring. These guys' bank account don't really entertain me. And I think it's actually ridiculous and even comical that we argue about two guys who are both millionaires. Like if this guy has 10 million and this guy has 3 million, they're still both millionaires and we're not. Or at least most of us. So why do people even argue about who's making more money and who's putting butts in seats? I don't know, but that's what Tank Davis fans like to do all the time. You know, we talk about who's the best in the division. Somehow, some way, some Tank Davis fans gonna tell me that he sell more pay-per-views than everybody. And I'm like, how the hell did we mix up popularity with what's going down inside the ring? On Lace, John, how you see Tio versus Shakur playing out? It's a good fight. Your green thumb. Good morning, bro. Good morning, bro. Crawford. Salute, my G. Bam. You know it. Crawford is going to take care of business on September 13th. Simple as that. He's going to take care of business on the 13th. Crap, you're getting a little bit aggressive, crap. Take a little time out. You're pushing too much. John Parham, on Lace, in my opinion, think Tio has a damn good chance knocking Shakur out. I would say he has a chance, but a damn good one, I don't think so. I don't think nobody has a damn good chance to knock out Shakur. John Pound, crap. He proved that wrong last fight. Crack needed a break, man. So talking crazy. This guy goes toe-to-toe with Zepeda for 12 rounds, and you're still talking corny. But John Pound, that's what I tell you, that's what happens with Tankomaniacs. Tankomaniacs, in order to defend Tank, they're going to attack fighters, not even with the truth, with corny opinion. Come on now. Come on now. Guy goes toe-to-toe with a guy who has a bunch of knockouts, and you're still going to say he a runner, he a track star. So, you don't like Shakur, and, you know, sometimes maybe you don't know shit about boxing, but whatever it is, Croc, you got to watch the channel a little bit more. Learn. Educate yourself for boxing. And then you can come back and say relevant things. As opposed to just, you know, just keep saying, I don't know shit about boxing, and I just want to say whatever comes to my mind. John Parham, T.O. pressure is different. It has more power than Zepeda. Oh, no, he definitely has more power than Zepeda, that's for sure. But styles make fights. Styles make fights. I don't think it's going to be a fight where you'll see Teofimo applying all the pressure in the world. He's not trying to get countered like that. I think Shakur versus Teofimo Lopez plays out more like a chess match where they go back and forth. And Teofimo does win rounds. I think it's more of a chess match where both of them have their moments. Both of them have good rounds. Sometimes you're winning the round from the outside, but then you have to adjust and get on the inside. So I think they're both going to experience success on the inside and the outside. It's going to be that type of fight. Get in, get out, get in, get out. And they're both going to be doing it. And ultimately, I got Shakur winning that fight. But it's a competitive fight. Very competitive fight. Nobody is going to make it look easy against Teofimo Lopez. It's simple as that. I just don't got anyone beating Shakur. I don't see anyone doing it. At 135 or 140 when he moves up. Nobody beating him. On Lace, Tio has problems with boxers. Look at Ortiz fight. Tio can't cut off the ring. He's had problems. He's had problems with guys who move a lot. So that could be something that can show up in the fight. Number 23, Shakur the next Mayweather. I would say Shakur's not even the next Mayweather. He's the first Shakur. That's who he is. He don't want to be the next Floyd. Yes, there's things that he took from Floyd game, but he also has things from Andre Ward game. He also has things from Terrence Crawford. So he's not even trying to. A lot of people don't know this, but when Shakur Stevenson was coming off the amateurs, Floyd tried to sign him hard. And when I tell you Floyd tried to sign him, it's not like he hit him up, like, yo, what's up, or on social media or anything like that. Nah. Floyd Mayweather, visited with Shakur, brought him to his offices and all that, and made his offer and everything. And Shakur wasn't having it because he was like, yo. Matter of fact, he told the story that Floyd showed him like a wall with his pictures, and it's his picture and other champions, other fighters that's been signed to him. And he told Shakur like, yo, your picture could be right here. And he pointed like right next to the other fighters that was down below his shit. And Shakur was like, I didn't want my picture down there, yo. Why, man? I want my picture up top. I want to be the guy. And he was like, right there, he already knew that he wasn't going to sign to Floyd. Because he was going to have to always be under him, always in his shadow. So he's not trying to be the next Floyd. He's trying to be the first Shakur. There's similarities, but if we look, see, this is the funny thing that I don't understand. When I compare Shakur to Floyd, because of the similarities, all I get, they're nothing alike. Shakur is nothing like Floyd. They're so different. Everything is different about them. But now, and when I say Shakur is trying to be his own, they're 100% alike, and that's all he's trying to be like. That's all he want to be. So, no, I don't believe it. The only thing I say, Shakur, yes, he wants to be undefeated. There's a bunch of fighters that want, Shakur wants to be like Floyd in the same aspect that a lot of fighters want to be like Floyd. He wants to be undefeated. He wants to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He wants to, accomplish a bunch of things. Wants to be the GOAT. Just like a bunch of fighters. But as far as inside the ring, Shakur does things that Floyd himself didn't do. That he got it from Andre Ward or from Terrence Crawford. He does it. He got his own things that he does too. But at the end of the day, he's still gonna be that guy that fighters keep ducking. Whether we admit it or not, all these guys that we say have a shot to beat him don't want to fight him. Those fights don't happen because they don't want them to happen. Let's see now with Teofimo Lopez. They've been going back and forth on social media. Can that fight actually happen? I don't know, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. I hope y'all having your breakfast already. And if you haven't, go for it. I know I am. Well, I'm not going to have breakfast, but have me a little snack. A little snack to entertain myself. But I made that video where I'm asking about Tank Davis and Lamont Roach and whether or not he's ducking. And like I told you, I'm going to post it in a group where it's probably like 80% Tank Davis fans who go hard for Tank Davis. On Lace, Smith, you about to cook for the family? Nah, ain't no cooking going on over here, bro. Oh, shit. I mean, I am cooking. Come on now. At this point, I've been cooking for exactly 1 hour. So I don't know what you're talking about if I'm gonna cook or not. The hell have I been doing for an hour? Cooking. Straight cooking. Come on now. Have you not been watching or listening, bro? I do it daily. It comes naturally. I have a couple of these. No seeds. No. When I say no seeds, I'm talking about grapes. I'm making sure you guys know. So I'm gonna post that video and see what they have to say over there about Tank Davis ducking Lamont Roach. Because I really want to know what people have to say. Really want to know what people have to say. Cooking with CER Senior. I prefer the seeds in my grapes. Y'all pairing me too. Nah, I'd rather go seedless. Hate chewing on the seed. Gonna share this video. Copy. My people, so if Tank don't fight, Tank don't fight Roach next, is he a duck? I want to see what the people gonna say about that. What the people gonna say about that? Them cotton candy grapes be fire. Melcart, hope you having a blessed Sunday, sir. How your weekend been? It's been good, appreciate it. Bam. Young pound. Tank don't take the fight. I can't rock with him no more. Yeah, but you're not a tankomaniac. The tankomaniacs, they're the ones that's gonna tell us, because they almost think like a collective, like a group. So they're the ones that are gonna tell us like a group what's gonna happen. Pizza time. Take a little 24-hour break. And then we come back and we talk boxing. And nothing about vegetable salad or ragdolls. Dallas Peel. Yeah, bro. No excuses. That's what I'm saying. No excuses. No need for that. No need for that. We have to... That's the thing. When you keep the same energy for every fighter, you don't have to come up with some crazy-ass logic. You can just say what it is and be honest. But when you're super biased, instead of just saying what it is, you try to look for these crazy angles. Your green thumb. I think Tank. I like Tank. But I think he ducking Roach. I think that's the way that's going to play out. What we're seeing thus far, It's looking like he's gonna duck that fight. But the point is, once it's official that Lamont Roach is gonna have to go in a different route, and Tank Davis decided to do something else. Once that becomes official, are people gonna acknowledge that Tank Davis ducked? That he ducked a 130 pounder? That's not a good look. That's not a good look, my peoples. You duck a 130 pounder, Lamont Roach. You saw somebody earlier say that he's not ducking. He's just waiting it out to get more money. Yeah. And then he compared it to Floyd and Pac-Man. So, I think we already see that there's people who will already have an excuse for the duck. That's why I say you either call every fighter who does it a duck, or you don't call anybody a duck. But to me, it looks goofy as hell when you call this guy and this guy a duck, but then for this guy, you come up with excuses. You're like, oh, no. With him, it's different. With him, it's because he got the right reasons. Really? Dallas Pio. And Roach is not even a 5'7" weight champion. Lamont Roach, he can fight, but still, he's a 130 pounder. He's a 130 pounder who moved up to fight Tank. Okay, man, Roach needs to move on. Mr. Gary Russell Jr. would be a great fight for him. I mean, you're saying that he needs to move on, so are you saying that that's it? Officially, Tank Davis is a duck? Okay, man? Because you're saying he needs to move on, but he got a rematch scheduled with Tank Davis. That hasn't been canceled. So why are you saying that he needs to move on? Have you accepted that Tank Davis is a duck? Dallas Pio. Tank has Mayweather in his corner, man. Too bad for him. He's not signed to Mayweather. He's not signed to the money team. He hasn't been signed to Floyd for years. John Parham. Okay, man. I can dig that fight. That's a good fight. For sure. Okay, man. Yes. Tank don't want that smoke. Okay, if Tank don't want that smoke, Lamont Roach may end up fighting Shakur Stevenson. If Shakur Stevenson doesn't get that fight with Teofimo Lopez, don't be surprised if it's gonna be him and Lamont Roach. And then we're gonna see Shakur putting the hands on the guy that put the beats on Tank Davis. John Parham, Pitbull will definitely take the smoke. Maybe. I'm not going to say definitely because Pitbull turned down Shakur and turned down Ryan Garcia. So I already seen Pitbull turning down some fights. Nero, Roach will whip Tank ass. That's why Tank retired. He's scared. I don't know. It doesn't look like he want to fight that rematch. Especially when he tweeted that he's not retiring. He's going to come back and fight either Manny Pacquiao or move up to 140. He didn't mention Lamont Roach in that statement at all. What now? What now? Didn't even mention him. So if Tank Davis himself says that he's not retiring and that he is fighting, but he doesn't mention Lamont Roach, what does that really say to us? He's not mentioning him. Holy moly. Wow. Wow, my peoples. Somebody sent me a video. Why you gotta send me something like that? Look at this, y'all. Look at this. Ooh, devastating blow. Right in the kisser. Get my boy wrong. He's scared of Roach. You're right. I mean, nah, I'm not saying that he's scared of Roach. I'm saying he don't want to give him the rematch. I feel like, it looks like he doesn't want to give him the rematch, and he may not. If he doesn't, is it a duck? Yes. Are people going to look for excuses and say that it's not a duck? I promise you. I promise you, 100%, without a shred of doubt, that a bunch of people are going to say, nah, it's not a duck because what happened was, and they're going to make up some type of explanation. That's the reality. On Lace, honestly, I doubt he's going anywhere near 140. He was terrified of Barrios at 140. Nah, terrified of Barrios. He beat him. How you gonna say he was terrified of a guy that he beat, that he stopped? So nah, no way, bro. He wasn't terrified of a guy who never held the world title. He wasn't terrified of a guy who's never been on the big stage, who had never fought anybody. No way. You pushing it right there, bro. Jay Jones, I don't want to see Pacquiao versus Tank. That's a fight that I think most people don't want to see. Of course, we'll watch it, but we don't want it to happen. You know, it's too. I know that Tank Davis, you know, he loves the cherry picking, but that's taking it too far. You know, Tank Davis fighting a 46-year-old, that's crazy work. That's wicked. John Parham, we don't get Tank and Pac. We won't get it. Yeah, I would like to believe that Manny Pacquiao is smarter than to step in the ring with Tank Davis. Okay, man, JSmiff, what is going with Rayo? We don't hear much about him, and he's a good fighter. I don't know, man. Rayo, I'm not sure. I think that he may be having problems with the PBC. Maybe they put him on a shelf. They did him dirty, and I tell you what, Robert Garcia spoke about that, and I think maybe even because he spoke about it, they may have put him on a shelf. Like, you know what? You ain't getting nothing. Sit right there. And I'm going to tell you why they did Rayo dirty. And the PBC does this all the time, yo. I've seen them do it all the time. Remember, Rayo fought Pitbull Cruz, and he was supposed to lose that fight. Pitbull was supposed to get a rematch with Tank Davis if he beat Rayo. That's the way that they was already staging it. He's gonna beat Rayo and get a rematch with Tank Davis. People had Pitbull knocking Rayo out. That was the prediction. The receipts were up. I predicted that Rayo had the boxing skills to beat Pitbull, and I had him winning by unanimous decision. That is exactly what happened. So I was very familiar with Rayo already, and I envisioned him becoming a world champion. Here's why the PBC did him dirty. Yeah, think about this. They wanted Pitbull to win, so Pitbull and Tank could go down. They could cherry pick another fighter for Tank. But Pitbull lost. So what they do with Rayo? The same thing they did with Banana, with Rosario. The same thing they did with other fighters that are not their guy. And what was that? Right away, they fed Rayo to Gary Antoine Russell. Didn't even give him a rematch clause. Didn't even allow him to defend his title a few times versus easy opponents like they do with Tank Davis, like they do with a lot of their fighters. Nope. threw him to the wolves in his very first title defense. Boom, go fight Gary Antoine Russell. No rematch clause for you. And if you don't want that fight, you fucked up. You're going to be in the shelf. So basically, Rayo got forced to take that fight next. And quick as hell. He didn't even want to fight. He was like, yo, but goddamn, I just fought. Let me take some. Nah, yo, you're going to fight him, and there's no rematch clause. They did him dirty. The same way they did Jason Rosario. Jason Rosario was took to fight Hurd. J-Rock. Jason Rosario was taken to fight J-Rock. And he was taken there to lose. He pulled off the upset, whooped that ass. And what they do with him as soon as he whooped that ass and won that title, his very next opponent was Jermell Charlo. Beat him up. Very next opponent. They put him up against Charlo. So what the PBC does, when it's their guy, they let him cherry pick, get some easy fights in. Boom, 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 boom. Get the bag, make some money. But when these guys, the Jason Rosarios and these other guys, when they win a title, they feed them to the wolves right away. Nigga, we want to snatch that belt from you, son. Go fight this guy. And you don't got a rematch clause. You cooked. Right now, if you think about Rayo, the way that some fighters are moved, right now he could have been 2 title defenses in to his championship run. And now getting ready to face a Gary Antoine Russell or somebody like that. Instead, in his very next fight, he was forced to face probably the best in the division in Gary Antoine Russell. They did him dirty. Did him wrong. Harajio, just like Banana, wasn't one of their guys. So like, damn, you won a title, but you really wasn't supposed to win that belt, bro. Let me go relieve you off that strap by making you fight this guy. But good stuff, you got it. You became a world champion. We're going to have to take that from you because we got some stars that we building up that's going to need that strap. That's what I got from it. That's what I personally got from it, my people. I want to see the details with the whole Piers Morgan situation because supposedly he withdrew his statement about Jake Paul's fights being staged. And I don't know if you guys seen it, but apparently Jake Paul says that the fights, anybody who says that his fights are staged, he's going to sue them. We got another one joining the 24-hour break room. The vegetable salad is angry still in his vegetative state. John Parham, Tank needs to give Pitbull another go. But you know what it is. Pitbull in reality has to build himself up. Because once he took a couple, he took a couple of losses. Or was it 1 or 2 losses that he took already after Tank? It was just 1? He got to build himself back up. Well, I think he only lost to Rayo after that, if I'm not mistaken. To Rayo and to who else? Man, hold on. Let me just, instead of just guessing, why not just look at it? But honestly, I don't think right now, this very moment, a fight with Pitbull and Tank is as appealing. It's still a fight that people are going to watch. Tank Davis is a star. Yeah, after losing to Tank Davis, Pitbull has only lost to... Oh, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. He lost to Tank. Oh, that was a draw. Listen, let me tell you guys something interesting, and this is real talk. Pitbull Cruz has had 2 fights where it looked like he lost those fights. I watched him in 2 different fights that it was very close, that it went the distance, and they was putting all type of hands on him. So he's been the recipient of some wins that were, you know, questionable to say the least. Okay. Dallas Peel. There's definitely duck from Tank. Tank, his reaction says it all. I mean, his reaction says it all, my peoples. You're looking at somebody who was in the most competitive fight of his life, who's now saying, nah, no, I'm not gonna fight a rematch. Why not? Why not fight the rematch? So all these people feel like, you know what? Tank Davis is gonna knock him out. He's gonna knock him out. Why do we feel that Tank Davis is gonna knock out a guy that he doesn't want a rematch? That doesn't make sense. Hamza, device. I don't know what you mean by device. Canelo Alvarez. Dallas Peel, when he was asked for a rematch. Oh, wait. There's definitely duck from Tank. So, I'll say this. Right now, there was already a rematch scheduled. It was already scheduled. That date was pushed forward to a different date. And now we might actually go into no fight date. Come on now. Come on now, my peoples. You have to take that into consideration. Come on. And I made a video about this a few months ago. Remember when Terrence Crawford and Canelo and Errol Spence were supposed to have a rematch? I remember that very clearly because I was covering that. I was making videos about that throughout the process. I'll remind you guys that first, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford had a rematch date. That date was pushed forward. Then they had a different date. And then after that different date, they didn't have a date at all. And then the fight was canceled. Family, this is not an instructional channel. So if you want to learn boxing, go YouTube some instructional videos. But you can watch and you can talk boxing if you want to. In case you're the vegetable, it did not work. And you're still going to be crippled. 88, would you consider Brian Norman Jr. better than Jaron Ennis if he beat Haney? I mean, if he beat Haney, he's going to have a better win in his resume. Do I consider him better over that win? I don't know. Look, I don't consider a fighter better over one win. That's never going to happen. So, if I already felt Brian Norman Jr. is better, that win is not going to make him better than Boots. But if I feel like Boots is a better fighter, that win over Haney is not going to make me feel like Brian Norman Jr. is better than Boots. It's just going to tell me that he beat a better fighter because Boots hasn't been in the ring with somebody like that. What about Jerome Boots and his fights and beats Virgil Ortiz? So it's all about the matchups. It's all about who you're able to fight. John Parham, guess you're going to choose soccer now. That's the sport he got to get into. My peoples, we still going on about these fights. Give me Norman over Boots. I mean, look, man, that fight could have happened at 147, and Boots chose not to make it happen. That's what we know about that fight. In the welterweight division, Jerome Bruce Ennis dug Brian Norman Jr. That's the truth. That's the truth. Brian Norman Jr. was trying to make that fight, was pushing for it, and Bruce chose to leave the division and not fight him. John Parham, Mill City showed a crazy clip on Boost yesterday. But what type of clip? Was it an interview or what was it? Matter of fact, let me see. Let me see if I... Was it a short that he posted? I could look for it right now. You mean that one, John Parham? Road Dog, what's with Eddie Hearn saying Boots is fighting Virgil and Virgil calling BS? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with that. I think that maybe they had a verbal agreement and Virgil may be saying, well, BS, I didn't sign anything. I don't exactly know the details behind that. But honestly, regardless of what's going on, the back and forth, I feel like Jerome Bruce Ennis and Virgil Ortiz will fight next year. I still see that fight happening. Jay Jones, when is it okay to duck a fighter? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. I guess we're going to find out. When Tank Davis ducked Lamont Roach, we're going to find out. I guess it's okay to duck when you have a large enough fan base that will, support your every move. So now you could duck because you have a lot of people who are going to find a way to justify it. You're going to have a lot of people who come up with excuses why it's okay for you to duck. I think that's it right there. But I will say, man, that's why for me it's too easy. Because I simply keep the same energy for everybody. I don't have to come up with this crazy ass logic about what if... Yo, to me it sounds so crazy. It's comical. When people start saying what fighters are thinking and what fighters want, I'm like, this guy's a whack job, B. You're a nut job. How do you know what somebody wants from watching them on TV and watching them on social media? Now he's only fighting because he really wants to get that payday. That's the only reason he's fighting. Really? How do you come up with that? Like, I hear people coming up with logic just to hate on a fighter that I just ask myself, like, how could you even say shit like that with a straight face? You know what a professional fighter is thinking? It'd be crazy, my peoples. It'd be crazy in these internet streets. John Parham, I'm not a boxer, but if I choose to put on a glove, I'm not ducking any smoke in my weight class, and maybe the next one up. Oh no, you're ducking the smoke, John. If you become a boxer, you're ducking the smoke for sure. I mean, you're not gonna duck the smoke because it's not like you're gonna have the opportunity to fight right away big names. You're gonna fight guys that are at a lower level, and that's it. You're gonna be at a certain level. But Jay Jones is never okay to duck a fighter. And it's never okay to make excuses for why somebody ducked. Oh, nah. He got a good reason why he ducked. Is that he wanted to do something else. No. No. That's not the way that it works. However, I will say one thing. One thing that people call a duck, and it's not a duck, for sure, is when a fighter has an injury. is when a fighter is dealing with something where they either have to get surgery or they got surgery. Then that's real. That's not a duck at all. And people won't respect that. They'll say, oh no, he got a fake surgery, or that wasn't real, or no. If you never fought in your life, you just don't understand it. But if there's anything hurting in your body and you can fix it with a surgery, the right thing to do is go get your surgery. Because you're either going to end up getting hurt by your opponent or even getting injured in training camp or in the fight. So if a fighter doesn't get in the ring because they have to get a surgery, I respect it. That's why at first I was saying Dimitri Bivol dug Arthur Beterbiev. You guys know this. I had to walk that back. I had to walk it back. Why? Because I see that he had to get back surgery. So it's not a duck. Anytime a fighter doesn't go through with a fight because there's something with their health, it's not a duck. But if we can make this fight and you choose not to make it, it's a duck for sure. Devin Haney, duck Shakur Stevenson. Tank Davis, been ducking Shakur Stevenson. But Tank Davis been ducking all the big boys in the division. Done that his whole career. There's no getting around it. You cannot say this guy ducked, but this guy did not when he did exactly the same thing. Doesn't really work out. It doesn't really work out. Whoa. Let me find out the vegetable salad. The vegetable salad. It's angry. What is going on with the vegetable salad, my peoples? No vegetable salad. No to the vegetable salad. Take a 24-hour break, buddy. We talking boxing over here. That break room is super crowded. Super crowded. The vegetable salad is in the break room just going insane. My peoples, we got some good fights next week. Got some real good fights that we've been waiting for. It's going to be a good fight week. Give you guys a quick rundown of the fights I'm looking forward to. I think we got some good action, man. We got some real good action coming up. By the way, those who have been, I'm telling you, man, the veggie salad in the building. Those of you who've been ducking that like button, my peoples, the same way Tank Davis be ducking Shakur, y'all gotta stop. Hit that like button, my peoples. I'm about to give you this fire content right here, this fire boxing talk right here that you need in your life this early in the morning. Look at Terrence Crawford, my people. Look at Terrence Crawford getting ready to put the beats on Canelo. With the head movement, with the footwork, with the combination. All of those is going to be landing in Canelo's mouth, in Canelo's nose, in the side of Canelo's head. Hey, you're going to feel those punches like they landing on you. Look. See that? Came at 44. Floyd kept Tank away from Loma and Gary Russell early in his career. He did. But he was even real with it. When there's interviews that I've shared myself where Floyd is saying, look, Lomachenko is in a hurry because he's old. We're in no hurry. We're in no hurry. He's in a hurry. We no rush. And look, when Lomachenko had 1 foot out the door, 37 years old, yo, what's up? Let's fight. Now they want to fight him. That's what he meant by no hurry. We're going to wait till you washed, cooked, on your way out, and then we're going to try to fight you. And I'm going to tell you something. Lomachenko did it the right way, and he was smart. But you know why he was able to do it the right way? Because this is a guy who is not material. Lomachenko, you don't see him wearing a lot of gold chains. You don't see him flossing. You don't see him, This guy lives the type of lifestyle That's it. The money he got is gonna last him the rest of his life. He's gonna be rich for his whole life. His kids are gonna be rich. They balling. They paid. And you know why that's important? Because if he was broke, he would have had to come back to fight Tank Davis and get knocked out, but go out with a payday. Instead, he retired a world champion, a reigning world champion, and on his own time, when he said, I'm out. I wanted to fight you for years, and you didn't want to. It's too late. See? When you're responsible with your money in boxing, you can retire on your own terms. And not be... Lomachenko could have been the fighter who had to come back for a payday and get beat up by a young gun. But he was smart. He didn't have to take that fight. John Parham. We got full of ranch, always on deck. I'm trying to tell you, the veggie salad. But you have to understand, you know, if you were a crippled at home like this, sitting down, taking a shit on yourself, you will probably do the same thing. You can't do anything else. You cooked. You literally cooked for the rest of your life. Okay, man. I think Loma still can be Tank. Can beat Tank. The odds are against him, though. The odds are really... You see, if he would have fought Tank 6 years ago, cooks him. Today, the odds are against him. A lot of inactivity, a lot of mileage, took a few losses. Tank Davis is dead center in his prime. The odds are against Lomachenko, bro. Odds. Jay Jones, it takes a lot to retire in the United States. Jay Jones, the problem with that is, number one, Lomachenko doesn't live in the U.S. He lives in the Ukraine. And number two, it takes a lot if you wanna show a lifestyle of a millionaire. That's the reason why people go broke all the time, because they want to be driving in Rolls and these type of cars, have this jewelry, and they go broke. But somebody with a few $1 million will live the rest of their life in the United States. I'm gonna put it to you like this. In the U.S., if you got $2 million, you could live out the rest of your life without even having to invest. No investment, no businesses, no nothing. $2 million, where you got 1.5 in the bank, gaining interest from you, and then you also have $500,000 that you're playing with. You live the rest of your life with that money, bro. But guess what? There's people that the moment they see $2 million, they want to spend $300,000 on a Lamborghini. They want to spend $500,000 in jewelry. They want to buy a house that costs $500,000, $1.5 million. And guess what? They broke within the first year. Because you have to understand finances. Like, let me give you an example. If you have $5 million, your ass cannot afford a $3 million mansion. You might think you can because you have 5, but a $3 million mansion that's going to leave you with 2. Out of that 2, just for you to put everything that you need to put in a $3 million mansion, I'm talking about sofas, beds, all type of furniture, television, electronics. That $2 million, you're going to be left with almost nothing to fill up this $3 million mansion. But here's the biggest problem. People get that house, they don't understand. You know how much money you need to maintain a $3 million mansion? And that's where the problem is at. People don't understand it. You think you're just going to have a big-ass house. Yeah, you're going to have a big-ass house. But what happened when you stop making money? And the guy that mows your lawn charges you every other month like $500. Now when he come next month to mow your lawn, you ain't got the $500 to pay him. After 3 months, your lawn look like a goddamn jungle. Your marble floors, they not shining anymore because you're not paying the dude that's supposed to come shine them every X amount of time. Now they look gray as hell. Your floors look funny. So I'm telling you, I've been to people's house, mansions, big mansions that look like shit. Why? Because the person that bought it could not afford to maintain it. And maintaining a big mansion takes a lot of money. Takes a lot of money. So if you got $5 million, you should get yourself a house that costs 1.5 mil. 1 mil. See? Now you're gonna have the money. You're still a millionaire. You're gonna have the money to maintain your mansion. But you got 5 million, you buy yourself a $3 million house, spend 1.5 million hooking it up, and now you got 500,000. Oh, you're gonna be broke real soon. Real soon. Yo, you're not even gonna be able to handle the taxes for your $3 million house in a few years. That shit gonna get took from you. You're gonna have to sell that shit. So that's the problem. That's why a lot of people that could have money be broke and go broke. Because you want to maintain an image. For social media, you want to maintain, whoa, look at my new Benz right here. They showing you that new Benz. Motherfucker, you're going to be paying that shit for the next 6 years. 6 years. There's going to be times that you're going to take a cab because you ain't even got gas money for that Benz. So that's the problem. People consume too much. They consume too much. Sex predator take another 24 hours. Raping your students in New York and getting away with it doesn't mean that karma wasn't gonna get you. That's why you crippled and on a 24-hour break. So again, my peoples, we have to see it the way it plays out. Just business. You was right about your boy Benavidez. He a dog. They ducking him bad. People they don't want to fight him, bro. They don't want to fight him. They know David Benavidez is really a monster. But I will say, it looks like Benavidez versus Beterbiev may actually go down. I expect Benavidez to win. Arthur Beterbiev should win his fight. We might get them two next. Dimitri Bivol, we already know. The back surgery, he's not fighting anytime soon. He's going to need some time for recovery, for the recovery process. But come on now. David Benavidez truly is the Mexican monster. He's that dude. John Parham, Just Business, did you spell your name wrong on purpose? How old is that account, Just Business? That YouTube account. How old is it? Bro, I watched our clip. He been calling out the top people. And yeah, John, because it's my motto. It's just business. John Parham, make sure y'all hit the like. Hit that like button, my peoples. Come on now. Let's hit that like button. Okay, my peoples. Hit that like button. Come on now. Don't be cheap. Don't be cheap, my peoples. John Parham, Just Business is solid. Yeah, he good. I actually thought that was a, you know, one of them fake accounts that be out there. Just Business is legit. Bam. In the building. That's a real one, right? That's just, yeah, that's a real one. That's a real account. That's a real account. My peoples, talk to me, man. Talk to me about these fights that are coming up next week. Because we're going to see some real good leather being traded. I'm looking for them right now. Hold on. We got some real good matchups for next week, my peoples. Just business. I say my tag is at least 8 years. Hit the button and subscribe. Let's be real. Where else can we talk boxing? Nah, I just don't do social media like that. But respect to all. Who y'all got in the fight? Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford baiting Canelo Alvarez's ass. Gonna be a good fight. Gonna be a competitive fight. Crawford gonna put the beats on him. My peoples, there's some fight. There's a good card next week, man, but I can't find it. Is that a PBC card or something? Help me find them fights, my peoples. On Lace, who fights next week? I'm looking for it, man. This is a real good card next week, but I can't find it. Is it on the zone? Is it Top Rank? Damn, man. Who the hell is fighting? I'm gonna figure it out. If it's the last thing I do. Hold on, my people. I gotta figure out who's fighting next week, man. Just business. You have schooled me on a couple of fights, but my heart won't let me go against Canelo. But I have been right, though, because I had Tank. How? You had Tank? Come on. Tank? Hold on. Tank Davis is looking like he about to duck Lamont Roach. Tell you that right now. He looking like he about to duck Lamont Roach. Who's fighting next week, my people? Oh, here we go. Here we go. 25th. Oh, no, wait a minute. It's Pro Code Fight Week. 25 over 16. There we go, my people. Next week, Moses Itama, Dylan White. What you think about that fight, my peoples? What do you think about Itama versus White? How is this fight going to play out? This is a good card, man. This is a good card. Here we go, my peoples. This is the action we're getting next week. Itama versus White. Ball versus Goodman. Fra versus Nova. Hold on, who's this? And Hergovich versus Adelaide. Yeah, Raymond Ford versus Nova. I knew it was a good card for next week. There you have it, my peoples. Each and every one of those fights is going to be a banger. As a matter of fact, this is the type of night that might end up in 4 stoppages. All of these, I don't know how many stoppages is going to be, but I promise you, all of these fights ain't going the distance. 2 or 3 are not going to make it. Like, I don't know how many are not going to make it, but I say at least 2. At least 2 people in this image are going to go to sleep. I'm not going to tell you who, but somebody going to sleep. So there you have it, my people. Next week, y'all know I'm going to be calling them fights. Y'all know how I do it. Y'all know how we do. My peoples, I'm about to end this show. But before I do, I want to give a shout out to everybody who keeps showing love to JSmiff and Box Center. A shout out to the Box Center General, John Parham, in the building. Salute, my brother. I always appreciate you. By the way, I'm going to make this quick announcement right now. Because I'm already working on getting the merch out there. And I'm trying to make it like I said, my peoples. I could have been selling hats and selling shirts, but I would have to make them expensive, and I don't want to do that. I definitely want to make it as cheap as possible. I'm working on that. But when these hats become available, the first person, and I'm saying it right now, I'm putting it on a receipt. If you know me, you know I'm somebody that got their word. I'm about my word. My word means everything to me. The first person who's going to get a box center hat is John Parham. My brother, I really appreciate you. The way that you support me, the way that you've been supporting me since I had, what, like 400 subscribers or some shit like that. I appreciate it. And you got my word right now. The first box center hat that is going to ship out is going to Mr. John Parham. Y'all already know it, my peoples. But before I end the show, I want to give a salute to everybody who tuned in. John Parham, Flip, Unlaced, Just Business. Who else tuned in this morning, my peoples? Everybody else who came through. K-Man was in the building as well. Wet Flu or Wet FTU. Salute. My peoples, you already see it. I'm JSmiff. This is Box Center, your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, man. 6 in the morning, a.m. Eastern Time. Boxing for breakfast. As always, it's going to be lit. We have a real good fight week coming up. Y'all think about it, man. This is what we headed for this fight week. We all been talking about Moses Itama and what he's about to do. Come on now. Just Business. Chicago's in the building. Come on now. Come on, my peoples. This is a good card. We're going to be talking about it tomorrow. Set the stage. Let's get it popping. My peoples, I'm out of here. Y'all already know what it is, man. One love to everybody that show love to JSmiff. And, oh, wait a minute. Y'all know that I cannot leave you without the J words of wisdom. J words of wisdom for you, my peoples. I want to remind you that who you are is not going to be determined by how much money you have or how much money you don't have. Who you are is not going to be determined by what kind of car you have or what kind of car you don't have. None of that. So, if you don't have money and you corny as hell, getting money, you still going to be corny as hell. Don't be corny as hell. My peoples, I'm out of here. One love. Y'all already know what it is. Bam.